Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It is an Amazon FBA and e-commerce business created in September of 2014 in the baby care and children niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $38,976 and makes an average of $13,585 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are an Amazon Seller Central account with 11 SKUs, Shopify account, primary domain with all site content and files, an additional domain, 2 domains used as 301 redirects, supplier contacts and relationships, an email list with over 15,000 subscribers, trademarks, and social media accounts, which include Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and Twitter. And just as a disclaimer, inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to verified buyers. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 59892 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show. Andrew, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks, Nick. Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. Well, I come from an IT background of sort of 15 odd years, and then I made a lifestyle decision to move to another part of the country, which also meant I had to find a way of making income rather than getting paid. So I've dabbled in a few different areas, and one of them was a retail store. I owned that for several years, and I saw this business come up for sale that had been started a couple of years previously from another local couple. And with the knowledge that I'd gained over the previous few years in IT, plus an interest in online businesses, I thought that's something I can do. And we purchased the business in 2014 and have been growing ever since. Along the way, we've had to pivot a couple of times. When we first made the purchase, the business had picked up on a sort of a trend in the baby space, and sales were going along very well and flying, in fact. And we knew competitors were going to come into the space, but underestimated how quickly that was going to happen. And within a year, our sales had eroded a lot, and we knew we had to look around for other markets, and then discovered Amazon in 2016 and started listing our products on there from that point. And it's been a real journey of learning, obviously, more about e-commerce, but also Amazon itself and the power of that platform, what's possible, what works, what doesn't, and then also being part of the evolution of that space and the changes that have gone through. And since being on there, we've also had to go through another pivot ourselves in terms of refining products that we've sold. And now we are in quite a different space from where we started originally back in 2014. But it's been a journey and an adventure, and feel that we're now in a really good space.
Yeah, definitely. So I won't ask about why you chose this niche, since you purchased the business in the general niche, but I'm aware that you, as you mentioned, with competitors coming into the space, you had to make some pivots, just the direction of the business. So I'll ask maybe more specifically, how did you go about deciding on the pivot that you made within this space?
That's a good question. Initially, we had some exposure to a type of product that was selling well, but we were aware that there was some bad press around some of the qualities of the product, but there was also an inherent potential hazard with it. And there's something we were aware, and we saw the trend here in New Zealand and Australia, and then we're also aware that the same types of things were happening in the US. And so in order to try and get ahead of that issue, we wanted to develop an alternative for parents who wanted to use this type of product but were concerned about safety. And that's really the main pivot of the brand, I guess. We spent 3 years trying to develop this product. It involved contacting over 180 factories to find the correct one, and then months of backwards and forwards with prototypes. But finally, we've come up with this option that enables parents to safely use this type of product with no safety concerns whatsoever. And we fall below the radar of any sort of regulatory issues that may arise in the future. And we are certain will do for some of our competitors. And when that does happen, there's no guarantee of quite when it will, but we're very confident that at some point our competitors will find themselves either probably removed from the main selling platforms such as Amazon, and we know for sure that also they've actually been removed from Etsy, etc. So our product is an alternative that is completely safe, and it has the ability to be reproduced into a number of different variations, some even getting outside of the whole baby space completely. So it's a world first. No one else is doing it. And what we've managed to achieve here is we've created the genesis of what could turn into a really global brand. There's no reason why it can't without. It just needs the right business owner with the vision and the capital to take it on to the next stage.
Yeah, so that's a really powerful, or just a strong position to be in, where competitors are actively, very likely going to be removed from the marketplace given the details of their product. And also, not to be understated, the fact that you reached out to 180 suppliers, I think probably a barrier to entry in getting into this space. If it's that uncommon of a product or material that you have to reach out to that many suppliers. So well done with the commitment to finding a solution to this.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's one of the keys, really, of some of the lessons we've learned and along the way. But having the most defensible position possible really puts you in a much more secure place. So having a product that's very hard to replicate is certainly part of that defense that we put up.
Yep, absolutely. So why are you deciding to sell the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
I think, well, we've had it, as I mentioned, since 2014. And I guess there's two main reasons. The first is when we purchased the business, we did so it was really booming, selling a different type of product, and we paid way too much for it. And we've lived under that sort of cloud of debt for some time, and that's hindered some of our progress. We just haven't had the ability to expand the products as quickly as we would have liked. And the second is, if I'm being completely honest, I'm ready for a change. I'd like to try some other avenues of money making. There's a little entrepreneurial spirit in me that gets attracted to new things, and I think it's time now. We've got it into a really strong position. We've proven that people really love what we've done. It's been launched for sort of 2 years now, this new product, and it's all there on a plate. If we can sell the business, brilliant. If we don't, then we will continue on. But I'm ready for a change.
Yeah, that is the mark of a lot of the business owners who I speak with, that they want to move on to something else. It's the spirit that brought them to building this business to begin with. All right. So let's get a little bit into the journey that you went through and some takeaways from that. What did you learn from building this business? You mentioned that this pivot, I guess, has been here for about 2 years, but maybe speaking on the entire journey, what did you learn from building this business that just seemed to work, maybe that contributed to the success here?
As I mentioned, having the most defensible position that you can, and by manufacturing your own product and having a product that's hard to replicate is two really important parts of that side of things. But I guess, there's been a million small lessons along the way, and I guess that's all part of the journey. But if I was to get really specific in terms of Amazon and learning how the Amazon system works from a seller perspective, having a product that stands out from all of the other products around you for the key search terms is crucial. So our product could be construed as being one thing, but we actually appear very high. But if we were to peer into that space, we'd get lost in the noise. There's 1,000 other products in that particular area. But we're appearing currently, we stand out like a sore thumb, and we get a massive number of organic sales because we are unlike all of the other products around us. And if you can find that magic formula on Amazon, it makes life a lot easier. Really, we can reduce our advertising costs and a lot of the other issues that sellers find that erode away their profits because of this unique formula that we've managed to come up with by standing out from everything else around us. So that would be, if I was going to be specific, that would be the one thing from an Amazon seller perspective.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think as Amazon has evolved, in the early days, it was, I guess the lesson or the strategy was to make your product slightly better than the competition and sell it based on that. But the game has changed, and I guess it's become more difficult to accomplish that. And what you're describing right now is, in my mind, accomplishing that, but just at the next level, like a serious level of, maybe serious is the wrong word, but it's just, yeah, it's more than just changing one small feature or slapping a different label on it. Yeah.
Our listing jumps out on the page. It's so completely different, but yet related to what's around it. So it piques the curiosity, if nothing else. And then people sort of feel compelled to buy one of the other thing and one of ours. So, yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I could see that. Okay. Well, of course, I'm sure with most or all business journeys, not everything works 100% of the time. So was there anything you tried with this business that didn't work out so well?
As we mentioned, we have pivoted a couple of times. When we first entered the Amazon space, the products we were selling were already they were in there in large numbers of reviews, and it's been an evolution, and with two reasonably big pivots along the way. I've tried lots of the techniques people have mentioned at trying to make you improve your listing and all the little refinements that go along with that. But ultimately, the big pivots have eventuated in us sort of getting to where we are. So, but within at a more granular level, there's been 1,000 small mistakes, but each one of those are a learning experience, and then you get to the end of that path and find yourself in a more comfortable position. But yeah, it's been nothing major, just lots and lots of little testing and retesting and so forth.
Yeah, I think that's the way to really approach it, knowing that the mistakes are inevitable, especially when you are just learning about Amazon, or, I mean, if you're just getting into the physical product space, yeah, the mistakes are bound to happen, and hopefully they're small enough so that you can continue to improve over time until you have the successful thing that you have today.
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay. So at this point in time, can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business for maintenance?
Well, to be honest, it's very little. We are now established, and it's really just a question of tweaking and fine-tuning from this point. And I've heard the analogy before with Amazon products. It's like a plane taking off from an airport, and a lot of energy and is required to get it up. But once you're cruising, then you're cruising, and that's where we're at now. And I would probably spend a couple of hours a week, maybe at max, to be honest. I'll check the PPC campaigns, just do some little tweaks there if I see things that need a little bit of improvement, and keeping an eye on inventory. And that's a very straightforward process with a 3PL in LA, and I just send off an order every couple of months, and they send some inventory across to the Amazon warehouse, and that's about it. So yeah, very simple, very straightforward.
Got it. Yep. Inventory management, PPC maintenance. Sounds good. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the traffic. So I know with Amazon FBA, yes, you have your traffic, a portion coming from organic and a portion coming from PPC. But did you want to talk about other traffic channels associated with this business?
Over the last sort of 12 months or so, we have put a little bit of emphasis into growing the wholesale brand, and we have our business on Fair, which helps bring in some new wholesalers, and we are also actively out there approaching some of the bigger retailers and have had orders from TJ Maxx and Tuesday Morning and a number of other larger sort of retailers. We had a big order last year from Turkey, which was unexpected. We're now in 50 stores in Turkey. So, yeah, came out of the blue, but the potential is certainly there. And we think there's a lot of opportunity there to not only increase sales, but it also increases the brand awareness when people start seeing it in the big stores.
Yeah. And further validation of just the fact that having a unique product, it has these opportunities, like these kinds of benefits.
That's right.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, speaking about opportunities, if you were to keep the business, what are some ways you would try to grow it?
The obvious way would be to expand, to work on the formula that we've come up with this new product, to replicate that into various other forms. And we've got lots of ideas around that. There's a lot of potential. We know of other similar types of products that we could replicate, obviously using our own sort of designs. But yeah, we could definitely carve a niche using this new brand. We've become a natural product baby brand, and it's a growing sector anyway. And then combined with the fact that no one else is doing what we're doing, I think potentially it's really large.
Yeah, I can see it. Well, of course, with any opportunities, there are also risks. So what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Currently, the fact that we are sort of heavily skewed towards Amazon sales, then of course, the fact that you are on a platform, you have to abide by their rules, and it's just part of being an Amazon seller. You're on their platform, and if they make decisions, you have to adhere to them, whether you like them or not. So hence why we've been looking to broaden our outlets and then mitigate some of that sort of reliance on a single marketplace.
Yep. For anyone experienced in only selling on Amazon, that is definitely understandable to want to diversify the sales channels. Got it. Well, a few housekeeping questions to wrap this up. How much support are you willing to offer a new buyer?
Well, basically, I'm very happy to help with as much support as they need. Having said that, I don't think there's really an awful lot to hand over because the business model really is so simple. But I'm here to hold someone's hand as long as they need it because I really do believe in what we've done. There's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears to get it to this point. So I'd really love to pass the baton on to someone who wants to take it and grow it. So I'm not looking just to run away here. We want to help the new owner and give them as much support as they need.
Excellent. And would you commit to a non-compete on this business?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We've got no interest in staying in this area. We want to go into different spaces. So a non-compete's not an issue at all.
Okay, great. And are you open to something like an earnout?
Well, yes, we are. A full cash payout would be our preference, absolutely, but I'm open to negotiation.
Yep, wonderful. All right, last two questions. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Well, I guess I've alluded to before, we have a unique product currently. It's been tested by the marketplace over a significant amount of time and proven that people like what we've done. We've got our people, we've got an audience out there that love it, and it's able to be replicated into a number of different SKUs, even venturing potentially outside of the whole baby space as well, using this formula. So you've got proven, unique, world-first product in a growing sector of natural baby products, and with the ability to jump sideways into new brands in different sectors. So yeah, it's all just sitting there on a plate ready to go.
Nice. That's exciting. Okay, last question. Is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
I could talk for hours, Nick, but I think we've covered quite a lot. I think there's so much more that could be talked about, but look, very happy to have discussions with interested parties further down the track.
The cliffhanger. Love it. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here. Andrew, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And yeah, I just hope your business is purchased in the near future by the right buyer.
Great. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 59892. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.